नास्था धर्मे न वसुनिचये नैव कामोपभोगे यद्भाव्यं तद्भवतु भगवन् पूर्व कर्मानुरूपम् एतत् प्रार्थ्यं मम बहुमतं जन्म जन्मान्तरेऽपि तत्पादाम्भोरुजुगगता निश्चला भुक्तिरस्तु. Although I do not care for so-called meritorious acts, neither for wealth nor for the enjoyment of the objects of desire, let that which is inevitable fall to my life according to my previous karma. But this is my cherished desire, that I should be endowed with love, unshaken for thy lotus feet in this life, as well as in lives to come. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. This morning our subject is Stories of Vedanta Monks, Part 41. As you know, this is a series of lectures based on the second generation monks of the Ramakrishna Order. We are in the section where Swami Madhavananda gave his spiritual talks. That section we shall start today. Before I begin the main theme, I generally give a little introduction. Bhakti. Bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangena purijayati. How can I love God? The way we love our family members, father, mother, husband, wife, children, same way. We don't see him. The person we have not seen, how can I love that person? He is all the time within us, but we do not see him. He is always in front of us, we do not see him. Because we have not trained our eyes to see God in everything and every being. That is the reason we start a spiritual life. How can I develop love for God? Chaitanya mentioned 5 ways. First, sadhu sangha, have the company of the holy. Second, Krishna seva, serve God, worship God. You do not see God, but you see the manifestation of God. These whole human beings are living gods. God dwells in all human beings. That Vedanta teaches us. Deho devalayo prokto sajivo kevalo shivo, which is in the Upanishad. All these human bodies are the tabernacles, temples of God, and God dwells in all human beings. Serve them. Third, Bhagavad. Study the Holy Scriptures. It will generate love, devotion, watching, observing other great devotees of God. The mystics show us how to love God. Fourth, Nam. Chanting God's name develops love inside. Fifth, Tirthavas, live in a holy place. Well, our holy places in India, Banaras, Brindavan, Rameshwaram, Madurai, there are many, many holy places all over India. I suggest make a holy place in your own home. Set up a shrine. Put beautiful pictures of gods and goddesses. Holy places. Create an atmosphere so that you are living in a holy place. Narada cautioned in his Bhakti Sutra, Dushango sarvatha tyajya. Dussanga sarvathaiva tyajya. Shun evil company like a poison. Evil company. Those people only talk everything other than God. They will take away your mind from God. Shun those people. They are worldly people. Living holy people like living in heaven, in God's company. Holy company. Holy company purifies the soul. As the dirty drain water mixes with the Ganges, immediately that dirty drain water becomes holy. Because the Ganges holiness makes this dirty bad water holy. Similarly, the impure person, when comes in contact with the holy person, that holiness imbibes that person, and that person becomes holy. Sometimes I gave this illustration, whether holy company works or not. You go to a perfume shop, I have seen in dealer here, if you go there, you like it or don't like it, that fragrance will penetrate into your nostrils. You get the divine, that fragrance. You will not have to make any effort. If you go and just stand near the ocean, the gentle breeze of the ocean will soothe your body. You will not have to make any effort. Similarly, real spiritual people can create that spiritual atmosphere. And whoever is in that atmosphere will imbibe that spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, those who are around me, Mahamaya does not touch them. Because Sri Ramakrishna created such a deep, dense spirituality in Dakshineshwar. Even now, if you go to his room, you can feel it. That vibration is very powerful. Holy company is of three kinds. First, satsang, satsango. Sat means existence, Brahman. Existence, consciousness, bliss, that is Brahman. So association of the Sat, Brahman, Paramatma, is called holy company. Second, holy people. They also give us living holy people. They also, association with those people, also holy company. And holy books, scriptures, they also give us holy company. So you can choose any one of them, but the second one is very effective. You worship a deity or you go to holy places, you will take a long time to gain spirituality. But if you go to a living, live, holy person, you can get instantly. But holy company is very real, yearly company is rare. The Shankara says, Durlabam treme baitat, devanugroh hetukam, manushyatam, mumukshyatam, mahapurusha sankshaya. These three things are rare in human life. Human birth, desire for liberation, and the company of a holy person. It is really, really difficult to get a real holy person in life. Narada also mentioned, Mahatsangastu Durlabha Agamma Amoghasya. He used three adjectives about holy company. Durlabha, difficult to obtain, difficult to attain holy people. Second, Agoima. Agoima means it is very difficult to understand holy people. It is God's grace that you understand the holiness of a person. During Sri Ramakrishna's time, there are so many temple officials in Dakshineshwar. They used to think him crazy. They couldn't understand Sri Ramakrishna was an incarnation of God. You see? Third, Amoghasya, infallible. It definitely bear fruits, results. Do you know how holy company works? Suppose you were a small beginner in spiritual life, you are just like a small plant, a creeper. And you'll have to go on the top of the tree. What do? You grabbed, slowly, some lower branches, lower leaves. Then you go a little further, you get big branches, big leaves. You go up. At last you go to the highest, God. And we middle all those branches of different holy people. Those will feed you, spirituality. I'm just telling you that how holy company helps in a spiritual life. The power of holy company. Krishna left Brindavan, went to Mathura to fulfill his mission to kill Kamsa. When he left, the gopis were very sad. They were broken-hearted. They cried. They could not bear the pang of separation from their beloved. Krishna understood it, so he sent his cousin and disciple, Uddhava, to console the gopis in Brindavan. Krishna said, those girls have no education. Those girls, the gopis, never practiced any spiritual disciplines. They are completely oblivion of the world. They loved me. Their intensity of love made them forgetful of their body consciousness, made them forgetful about their family. They worked, of course, their family responsibility, duties. But their mind dwelt in me. There is a beautiful verse. Haramilan goraj bechan dhu milui ko kaj. Haramilan. When I was in Brindavan, they used to go to sell their milk and milk products, cheese, butter, all those things to the market. And on the way, they used to meet me. They used to feed me. Sometimes I used to take away their things and I used to eat their food, butter and other things. And in the evening they used to come to complain against me to my foster mother, Yashoda. Oh, your son took away our things and all those things. Complaint is not the main focus. Main focus is they want to see me. Even in the evening they came to our home to see me. That is called love. The person we love, we carry that person. This love generates from the company of the holy. This kind of holy company we find in M's life. M, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, was a rector of his school. He used to live in the 4th floor of the Morton Institution. I went there. I saw that room where he stayed. He created an atmosphere. People, working people who work, 10 to 5 in India, Calcutta, after 5 o'clock they used to come to him. Till 9:30, 10 o'clock they used to stay with him on the roof. Him created Naimisharanya, the holy place in India, in northern India. Naimisharanya, where Bhagavatam was written and the Vedas were compiled. Very holy place, on the bank of the Gomati river. I remember I went there in 1970. Beautiful place. So he created some garden on the roof and flowers, and he used to talk, he used to meditate with these devotees and talk about Sri Ramakrishna, read his diaries and tell them his days with Sri Ramakrishna. He created such a vibrant atmosphere. I shall read a little to you, then you will know. Swami Raghavananda wrote, in the sweet and warm months of April and May, sitting under the canopy of heaven on the roof garden at 50 Amherst Street, surrounded by shrubs and plants, himself sitting in the midst like a rishi of the old, the shrubs, the stars and planets in their courses beckoning us to things infinite and sublime. He would speak to us, he means M, speak to us of the mystery of God and his love and of the yearning that would rise in the human heart to solve the eternal riddle as exemplified in the life of the Wise Master. The mind melting under the influence of his soft, sweet words of light would almost transcend the limits of the finite existence and dare to peep into the infinite. He himself would take in the influence of this setting and say, what a blessed privilege it is to sit in such a setting, pointing to the starry heavens, in the company of devotees, discoursing on God and his love. Those unforgettable scenes will long remain imprinted on the minds of his hearers. This is in that book, perhaps many have Mahendranath Gupta, recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This book we worked. Anyhow, read that book. It is a beautiful book. Anyhow, when the flower blooms, bees come of their own accord. The bees know where the honey is. That is the way we think about holy company. All right, now we shall start. Spiritual Discourses by Swami Madhavananda. Prachin Shadider Kotha, page 320. Beludmot, Thursday, 6th December 1962. Swami talked about Japam, name. Sri Chaitanya glorified the name of God. Nam, Rup, name and form are like seeds of a banyan tree. That seed Guru puts in the heart of the devotees during initiation, mantra. That seed becomes a plant, becomes a tree. It blooms, flowers, then it brings fruits. That gives God realization. He was talking about what is called initiation. But the mere repetition of the mantra is not enough. You need love and sincerity. Some people take initiation and then complain. That I told you, Swami Vivekananda used to say, if somebody was asking initiation, yes, I shall initiate you on condition. Promise that you will never write a letter to me. People do not do and only complain. Follow the instruction. Chaitanya Dev says, Hare Namaiva 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 Kevalam Kalau Nasteva 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 Gotirinnata. In this Kali Yuga, chanting God's name is the main spiritual disciplines. We do not have that kind of strength, stamina, physical condition to practice severe austerities like in ancient time. We'll be sick. If body is sick, you cannot think of God. So the easiest way to realize God in this Kali Yuga, Chaitanya says, chant the name of the Lord. He is everywhere, but He is hidden. But He is watching all of us. But He is waiting for an auspicious day when He will reveal to us. Sri Ramakrishna said, if you are sincere, one day Lord will appear before you. You have taken so many births, you fulfilled so many desires, but all these desires must be completed, finished, otherwise you will not see God. Desire, like fibers of the thread, it does not go to the eye of a needle. Those thread fibers, you will have to squeeze it with a little moisture, water. Then it will go. When it is one pointed, it straight go to the eye of a needle. But desires are not allowing us to reach God. They have got plain. It does not need any commentary. Some people say that, Swami, I spent so many thousands on japam. Some people God is not a commodity in the supermarket or grocery shop. That I paid this much, I get this much. It comes from the grace of God. And for the having grace, you must be pure. You must be sincere. Your mind and your speech must be united. And you must have intense love for God. Then grace will come. Then Swami talked about Sri Ramakrishna's famous story, Go Forward. A woodcutter was told by a holy person, hey, go forward. So he was cutting wood, ordinary wood, and selling the market, getting very little money. So he went further and found sandalwood forest, very expensive wood. He cut that sandalwood and got a lot of money. Then he was thinking, that holy person man told me, go forward. Then he went further, he got silver mine, then gold mine, and then diamond mine. Same way, this in spiritual life, go forward. Go forward. Question. But it's how can we work as a service to God? Answer. Work is worship, Swamiji says. As you worship in this temple, same way you work in your family, in your office, in everywhere. I told you that story which I heard from Swami Sarvagatanandaji. He went to Konkal, Hardwar, to become a monk. Swami Kalyanananda, a disciple of Vivekananda, asked him, you want to be a monk? Yes. Listen, young man. Mandire, puja, নৈবেদ্য, প্রার্থনা। আর এই হাসপাতালে সেবা, ঔষধপত্র, দুটি মিষ্টি কথা। That is practical Vedanta. In the temple, what you do? You first perform the worship, then you offer food to the Lord, then you pray. And in the hospital, serve these patients. Give them medicine and diet, and tell them a few sweet words. If you can tally this both, then you join here. That is a wonderful lesson. I wrote down in my diary. That is practical Vedanta to me. Practical Vedanta. That Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, Shivo Gyane Jivo Seva, serve human beings as God. When Swamiji was in Jaipur, somebody asked, where shall we find God? Swamiji says, go to the cottages of the poor people. And if you want to realize God, serve them. Serve. Service is very, very important. When we read the stories of the monks of the Ramakrishna Order in these 2 volumes, it will come in English also, this book. Prachin Sadhudir Kotha, Stories of the Vedanta Monks of the Ramakrishna Order. 2 volumes, nearly over 1,000 pages anyhow. These books, these stories, they were live stories of these monks, tell us how to serve. They demonstrate it with tremendous humility and love. I remember there was a Swami in Brindavan. Somebody asked, Maharaj, have you seen God? He said, no. Then the Swami said, but one thing I can tell you, last 50 years, I wholeheartedly worked for Sri Ramakrishna. And I got tremendous satisfaction. That much I can tell you. I have not seen God with my eyes as I'm seeing you. You see, our monks will not beat the drum that they have seen God. They do not say they are practical, their personal experiences, they do not divulge. Then Maharaj says, and a young man has come, oh, you have come to become a monk. And you have read the Gospel of Ramakrishna. Reading the Gospel of Ramakrishna, you will not be able to be a monk. Read Swami Vivekananda. Then you will be inspired. Then you will join the monastery. Reading the Gospel of Ramakrishna, you will see God. Then you don't need to be a monk. That's a beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. If you see God, you don't need to be a monk. Try to understand Swamiji. Vivekananda is the commentary of Sri Ramakrishna. And remember another thing, the service to the Sangha, this Ramakrishna order, is service to Sri Ramakrishna. Always remember that I have come to serve this order. I have not come to take the service from the order. I still remember the great saying of President Kennedy. Ask not what your country do for you, but what you can do for your country. That is a beautiful message to the American people. I sometimes quote his saying, ask not what your country do for you, but what you can do for your country. Some people are takers. Swamiji says, take the position of the givers. Give, give. There is so much joy to give. I was reading this morning a book. This mystic, he was a mystic person, Anirban. He was telling, look, when we read the Ramayana, what do we see? Rama rescued Sita, killing Ravana, and then banished Sita. He got renounced. Look, the Mahabharata. These 5 brothers fought against these 100 brothers, and after the Mahabharata war, they won the country and the throne. Then they renounced and went to Mahaprasthana, went to the Himalayas. 5 brothers and Draupadi, they left and died on the way. They acquired and they left. I was thinking, our human beings, some especially our retired people, they work very hard, they earn money. And now, the time has come for them to renounce. It is, we know that nothing will go with us. Naked came I from the mother's womb, naked shall I return thither. It is in the book of Job in the Old Testament, we know it. We came naked, we shall go naked. Nothing will go with us. But you know, I met a woman, very rich woman. She told me, Swami, my relatives are looking for my money. But I decided that before I die, I want my money will go for the right cause. So I adopted my secretary as my daughter. She had no children. So she will fulfill my wishes. She did a lot of philanthropic activities in America. I knew her personally. Give. You will get satisfaction when you are alive. After death, who cares? Belur Monday, 17th December 1962. Maharaj, मन की स्थिर करा जाएगा. How can I make my mind calm? Whole day I am working, my mind is scattered, and when I sit for meditation in the evening, all those thoughts come to my mind. That's a common question. You will have to answer. You will have to tell your mind that, please sit down and keep quiet for some time. Don't disturb me. And tell God, Master Lord, you will look at my mind and please attract it. Do not give up your daily practice. How many people get real meditation? Those who are very fortunate, their mind is pure, and with that pure one-pointed mind, they can communicate and connect themselves with God. Those type of people are very few. But when you make an effort, sitting in the shrine, God is pleased. He thinks, at least this person is striving, trying to come to me. So he becomes a little gracious. He tries to make our lives favorable. Do not force. Your mind will rebel. There is no royal road in spiritual life. Do you know our problem? Our problem is we do not know how to make the life balance. Our life is unbalanced. I see some IT people who works 12 hours, 14 hours. They make a lot of money, then they become sick. As Dalai Lama says, you are ruining your health for money, then you spend that money to preserve your health. That's what you are doing. You are earning a lot of money, ruining your health, heart problem, this problem, that problem, eye problem. And then spend that money to cure yourself, go to the doctors. That you are doing. Life is not balanced. I sometimes say 7, 8 hours, that is enough. You must have at least 4 hours, 3, 4 hours you must spend for your spiritual life. Study, meditation, make a routine. I always emphasize routine life. Then you will accomplish a lot. That I watched some of my senior monks when I was a brahmachari. They will not misuse a single moment. And then one day you will find what a great achievement. Little by little. Balanced life. And when you sit for meditation, watch who is taking away your mind from God. Most people's mind goes to the body, aches and pains, physical problem. Some people's mind goes scattered for enjoyments and desire for worldly things. There is no royal road to make the mind calm. Only 2 things. Patanjali says, Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyamata Nirodha. Listen carefully. If you want to control your mind, by repetition of practice and non-attachment. Same thing Krishna says in the Gita. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grijyate. Abhyas, practice, and vairagya, renunciation. These are the 2 ways of Partha, of Arjuna. You can control the mind. There is no royal road. You will have to make effort. Belur Math, Monday, 24 December 1962. Today is a Christmas Eve, very auspicious day. If you believe in your mantra and practice spiritual disciplines, your avidya, ignorance, will go away. You will get bliss. If you want to please God, have nishtha, steadfast devotion and sincerity. Steadfast devotion and sincerity. Repeat mantra. Sometimes we repeat mantra, of course, mechanically, half-heartedly, we repeat mantra. Sometimes mantra is going on, mind is somewhere else. Let me tell you a little bit about this mantra. Mantra mananatrate iti mantraha, which is in the Tantra Shastra says, mananatrate, through reflection, thinking of God. Trate, saves, protects. Protects from what? Protects from maya, ignorance, desires, worldly cravings. This mantra. How does it work? Do you know? Sometimes I see on the Skincare Boulevard some cars go with jazz music. Oof! Terrible sound. Your eardrum will burst. Such a loud sound. They play their music. So what happens, in our minds, all the desires are jumping, they are making noise. A lot of noise going on in the mind. Mantra is a nad Brahman, sound Brahman. So when that sound Brahman goes into the mind, that sound overpowers those sound. Those sound goes down, but this sound goes up. That sound continues. Let me give an example how it works. Those who are in Calcutta, they have seen the Ganges, 6 hours high tide, 6 hours low tide, 6 hours high tide, 6 hours low tide. Every 6 hours the current of the river changes. Who is the cause of this changing the water in the Ganges? Ocean, Bay of Bengal. When ocean goes up, due to the position of the moon and all those things, the river goes up. When ocean goes down, the river goes down. So, ups and downs going on in the mind, the mantra, is also through the shas posture. When we breathe in, the mantra goes inside. Breathe out, goes out. The ups and downs through breathing, inhale and exhale. That is continuously going on in the human system. It is, I sometimes say, you repeat mantra. 15 minutes, I promise you will not die. Every time you repeat mantra and think of your chosen deity. "15 minutes you hold. Every backward, tell your mind, no, nothing should come to my mind right now. 15 minutes. Every repetition of mantra, you will have to see, visualize, think of your chosen deity. Do you know what will happen? This 15 minutes, if you continuously have that kind of, with tremendous resolve, you go that way, focus it, then do you know what will happen? Then you will get the cruise control. From here, when you go to Kansas City, I see our devotees, they drive me sometimes 70 miles speed. Just put it there, then he will not have to press the gas at all. Just hold the steering. Cruise control, car will automatically go. So the mantra will continuously flow in your mind. I'm just telling you some practical things about the spiritual life. What happened? A mantra, how can I get taste? You have seen Rasgulla, just juicy ball. Its inside is sugar syrup, outside is sugar syrup, and it's just floating in the sugar syrup. So when the mind is saturated with the mantra, it will float in bliss, like Rasgulla. I remember in our village, the lemon is not all the year round, you should not go lemon. My mother we have a big container, which is made from pumpkin shell. And there my mother used to put salt. And it is wooden stove, near the wall of the stove, because it is so moisture, whole salt will be water. So near the fire, it will remain solid salt. And inside the salt, she used to put some lemon, so that it will be saturated with outside, inside, and it will not be rotten. And when you were sick or anything, or malaria, she used to take that lemon and give the juice with our barley water. I still remember. So this human mind becomes saturated with the mantra, with God consciousness. দেহ মন নিয়ে জপ করতে হয়, অনুভূতি. Sometimes I ask people, especially those who retired, get up early in the morning when it was dark. You see, always remember, the morning and evening are the best time. The junction between the day and night and day are the best time for practicing meditation and japa. So when there is dark, light a candle in front of your chosen deity and just get up, fresh yourself, drink a glass of water and sit. Practice. Anubhuti, the experience will come. This mystic gave a beautiful example. Here is a kite. I have seen in Laguna Beach. The children play with the kite. One hold, another person was trying to leave the kite, and then several times it falls. But once it gets up, then this boy, play with the wind, the ocean breeze. He plays with the kite. At that time, no effort. Effortlessly just playing with, holding the thread. Do you know what does it mean? It means you are the kite, Jivatma. And this cosmic space is Paramatma. So Jivatma at that time is floating in that infinite Paramatma. And that thread is the mantra. So this mantra helped you to go up. That thread is not very visible. You are in the worldly plane. Now you are going to the spiritual plane. Now you are flying in the infinite. That comes from initiation, comes from mantra. People think, what is this spiritual life? They do not understand. There is no joy in the finite. Bhumaiva Sukham. Infinite is bliss. There is no bliss in finite objects. very little. Breaking. Coconut. Spiritual life, sometimes people say it is difficult and it is dry. That is to complain against spiritual life, Vedanta. It is dry, it is difficult. Dry. Vedanta says bliss, Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. That is Brahman. And there we want to dwell. And we come from bliss, we stay in bliss, and we merge into bliss. How can it be dry? They do not know how to taste, that is the problem. And difficult. Difficult, here is a coconut. You will have to remove the skin, you will have to break the shell, then you will get the milk and the kernel. You will have to make an effort to break the coconut. I remember in our village, especially in fall, we used to get sugar cane, long sugar cane. I remember at that time we had tremendous strength from the teeth. We used to, with the teeth, we used to remove the skin and we used to take the inner portion and we used to bite and chew and get the juice. Same thing. Sadhu, sadhu, pade, pade. You will have to bite, you will have to chew. If you take a rasagola and just if you take like your pills of medicine pills or your vitamin pills, you just with the water you swallow, you will not get the taste. You will have, if you want to get the taste of spiritual life, you will have to repeat your mantra on your tongue. It will vibrate. Then you will get the taste. There is a saying of Tulsidas, the tongue which only criticizes people, it is vain to repeat mantra with the tongue. But what is the why I sometimes say, do you know why we pray again and again? Because we do not have too much faith. If you tell once, that is enough. But we do not have those faith, so we talk again and Lord, 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 Lord. It is a movement. Do you know what is movement? When I go for a walk from here to Big Ben, in every step I am reaching to the goal. Similarly, mantra, sometimes don't think it is useless to repeat the mantra. Every repetition you are moving toward the goal. How shall I know that my devotion, my love, my attraction for God is increasing? There are some signs. I remember when going to Thousand Island Park. And from there, we went to the Canadian side and then went at the beginning of the St. Lawrence River, from the Atlantic Ocean, how St. Lawrence River starts. There is a huge, long, what is called the lighthouse. Because all these ocean-going vessels will enter through the St. Lawrence and then comes to the Great Lakes, even to Chicago. So all these big ships, they come. So that is the signal of the lighthouse. So same thing in spiritual progress, as I gave a lecture the other day. First, your love for God will increase day by day, and love for the world will decrease day by day, one side. Then you will feel some kind of blissful, a current of bliss is passing through your body and mind. Your face will be joyful, luminous. You will not relish this worldly talk, worldly discussion, politics. And our Swami, Chetanananda used to say, God vision and television never go together. Funny. It takes time. In our part of the country, I have seen how they make oil. Here is a wooden, some kind of structure, and here is a big, like a wooden, like a drum, and here is a piston, like a wooden things. And it is tied and connected, and a bull is tied and bull rotates. And this wooden piston, it rotates inside and crushes the mustard seed or sesame seed, and there is a hole there, from there oil comes. So the movement of these bulls is bringing oils, continuous rotation. So in spiritual life, this repetition of mantra brings that kind of divine bliss, the juice, tasty juice of spiritual life. Anyhow, I just gave you some of the suggestions for spiritual life, those who repeat mantra. Never think yourself that you are no good, or this inferiority complex is not very good in spiritual life. And some people think, I made some mistakes, I committed some sin, forget it. Gatasya shochana nastihi. Scripture says, the thing which is done, don't think about it. The spilt milk cannot be cannot be brought back. Spoken words cannot be brought back. What is done, gone. Build your spiritual life. Don't brood over the past things. God is our own. He knows our everything. You cannot hide anything from God. When you did wrong, He watched it. And when you are lamenting, He is watching it. He is dearer than the children, dearer than money, dearer than everything, says Brindavan Upanishad. This Priyo Bhavle Premaspad Morena. If you think this Atman is my dearest of dearest thing, then you will never die. Sri Ramakrishna told his disciple, if you do 99 good to a man and one bad, he will remember the bad one. And if you do 99 bad to God and one good one to God, He will remember the good one. Pray to God. He listens everything. Even He can hear the sound of the footsteps of the ants. Sri Ramakrishna's words, the Swami says, the Divine Mother spoke through him. When you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, remember, those words are coming straight from God. I sometimes say, it is, in our gramophone now, we used to say his master's voice. A dog is seated there and here is a song, some kind of thing, I got here, cylinder type of things, and he used to hum his master's voice. So Sri Ramakrishna's voice is the voice of God. We are not making progress, it is not the fault of God, it is our fault. All right, up to this today. Matma me shuddhantam, जो Tiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Antaratma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Paramatma me shuddhantam jyotiraham viraja vipapma bhuyasam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May my body become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my mind become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. May my soul become pure. May I be free from impurities and ignorance. May I realize myself as the light divine. Om, peace, peace, peace.